Hi everyone, welcome to the Event Crowd podcast. Today I'm joined with Anastasia. Anastasia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I'm Anastasia Johnson. I'm 21. I'm currently studying in Prague at Prague City University, and I'm also still doing the event crowd course, which has been a lot of fun lately.
Lovely. And remind me and for our viewers as well, when was it that you enrolled with us? It was just over a year ago, was it?
Yeah, I think it has been like just over a year. I know that there was some updates made as well, so I got a nice grace period, a little bit more time to finish this course, which was really great. So yeah, I think it's been about I think it's been about a year.
Yeah, I wanted to say it was January 2024, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain, yeah.
Yeah, and Anastasia actually came to join us at EPS as well, the event production show, and you got to meet the team. And was that one of your first experiences at like an organised event for the events industry?
Yeah, it was actually. It was quite overwhelming because of how big it was. I never realized how massive it was, but it was really amazing. Like I'm a little bit like gutted I couldn't go this year. But it was so cool to meet so many different companies and talk to different people and obviously meet you guys as well. Yeah, I would really recommend it. It was such an amazing time.
Yeah, we love when we go because it's so nice to. I mean, we speak to our students all the time to actually put a face to a name as well. It is always lovely.
Yeah.
So I guess talk to us a little bit about what you were up to prior to joining Event Crowd and sort of where your passion for events came from and how you figured out it was the career route you wanted to go down.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in London and I was always going to like art exhibitions and like movie premieres with like my family. And I always kind of looked around and I was like, someone's put this on. This is really incredible how they've kind of created all of these different things and put all of the different events together. And I just thought it was so incredible. And you can always see people how they enjoy it and different aspects and different activities. And I just thought it would be really nice if I could ever put on something like this myself and see people also really enjoy it and know that it was part of your work and a team's work to really create like a nice, comfortable atmosphere as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what events is about. It's about bringing people together, creating memories for them, and it's also a really rewarding career to work in.
Yeah, 100%.
Glad you were able to find that out from sort of a bit of a younger age as well. And did you have any events experience prior to joining us? Did you dip your toes into it at all?
Yeah, so I have worked in a few different places. This year will now be actually my third year of returning back to Glastonbury Festival.
Oh,
I'm working on the bar there with Bar Live Events Agency, and it's really amazing. I really love it. It's just such a great atmosphere, and you meet so many cool people and so many like networks as well. So I'm very excited to go back this year. But before that, I also was working as a restaurant supervisor at the Hoylake Open Championship. That was really amazing, being in charge of people as well and learning how to kind of delegate tasks and, mainly treating everyone as if they're like your best friends. You never know if they ever will be your best friend, and mainly treating everyone with the same amount of respect as well. So I think that's like the main key things that I picked up from it. Um, and I was really lucky as well because I do study art here and I do want to go more into the creative design aspect of the events industry. And I was very lucky a few years ago, I was able to work as an assistant for a set production design for this theatre in Ellesmere Port, Theatre Porto. And that again was really lovely, kind of collaborating with a lot of different people and really understanding how important it is to work as a team.
teamwork is massive, I think, especially when
Yeah.
working on an event. If you've got, say, 10 to 20 people on a team, you have to make sure everyone's on the same page, everyone knows exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
If
Yeah.
communication is a big part of that, so being able to work in events, you've got to be able to communicate, you've got to be organized and really be able to listen to what people are instructing you to do on site. And I guess going back to Glastonbury, what an event to work on. How did
I
you
know
fall into
it's
doing that?
amazing.
How old were you when you did your first year there?
So I'm 21 now, so would have been 19. Yeah, it was that year. That was my first time. I went by myself actually, camped by myself, but it's so amazing, you can go by yourself and there's just all these people around you all the time making sure you're okay. And I've made some good friends now who I only really see when I go. But it's a lovely community. It's a great company as well to work for, and I really try. I want to try and keep this job for as long as possible because it's amazing. And obviously, seeing all of the acts and seeing behind the scenes as well, it's really really like special.
Yeah, so you're not volunteering there, it's a paid position that you've got.
Yeah, it's I was really lucky. I actually met a girl here in Prague, funnily enough, 2 years ago, and she told me about it. And it's just the agency Bar Live Events, shout out. And
Shout out,
they're
go for it.
but they're great. They're really, really nice. And the management there is so amazing. Like they really know what they're doing and they really take care of you, especially when it was my first year and it took me 16 hours to get home.
Oh
Uh,
my.
with all of the gridlock and taking like 5 hours just to get out of the campsite and getting to Bristol. Um, yeah, because I was going back up to Liverpool, so that was a interesting 16 hours.
Worth it though to
Oh my God,
you
100%.
know.
That's why I've been going back every year.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. So I guess now let's move on to sort of your journey into finding Event Crowd. How did you first come across this, if you remember?
I think it was via like your kind of marketing team. I think I saw it pop up on my Instagram for you page quite a
Oh,
lot, which was really nice. And it was something that I was always really interested in, but I was doing my A levels and I was applying for universities, so I didn't really have enough time. And then I took a gap year and I decided I'd really, really like to try it out. So yeah, it was through the marketing on Instagram.
your phone
Yeah,
is always listening to you. I feel like I'll talk about
it's
something.
a bit scary. Yeah,
Your phone knows you so well, but I guess it works in a good way because you might
yeah,
have never found us, and you could be in a completely different position than what you are in now.
exactly. Yeah,
When you
yeah.
first had a look into Event Crowd, what was sort of the main things that really pulled your interest into wanting to do it?
I think it was really amazing to see how many like collaborations you had with different lecturers and teachers. And that was something that I really understood as well later when I was listening to the lecturers and I was seeing how many different, well-known festivals and events that they've put on that you've heard about. And it's really nice to see like that collaboration with you guys. And it shows that they really trust you as well. And obviously I looked through like the Trustpilot reviews and everyone seemed really, really happy, really like, and also I could see the other student success stories and kind of listening and looking at all of these reviews. It just seemed very, very good, very like well constructed as a course.
Oh, good. And it's definitely a huge part of Event Crowd, the lecturers that we have. We try to
Yeah,
have really good focus on employable skills and actually learning from people with prior experience. Say, for
yeah,
example, university, they don't always have lecturers that have worked on site from
mm,
build, live, and break, whereas our lecturers, they've been there, they've done it, they've made mistakes, they've gone all the way through it. So
yeah,
it's nice that they can then pass down that expertise to someone like yourself.
yeah.
I know you've not quite finished the course yet. Whereabouts have you got up to it?
So I just finished my level 4 assessment.
Oh,
So that went okay. That was pretty good. I was quite pleased with myself. So I'm going to be starting the level 5, and I'm really intrigued as well because that's I think a lot of the new updates, if I'm right, was there. So I'm excited to see what it's all like. I am balancing both my university here and the event crowd course,
wow.
but again, that's why I was really grateful that you guys gave a bit of an extended period due to the updates.
Hmm. How
Yeah.
do you find juggling it alongside university? Because obviously you have the flexibility to work at your own pace. Is that I assume
Yeah.
that's helpful?
I think that's one of the things that makes it doable for me. I think that if you couldn't do it at your own speed and if you couldn't do it, even if I wasn't in university, I find that sometimes it's really important to, pick and choose. And that's very like individualistic as well. It's like no one's pushing you. And for someone who's just coming out of education as well, I find that working at your own speed and choosing your own time is really important. So that is something I'm really, really happy about, is that it is so flexible. And that's why I feel like I can juggle both at the same time, which is
Well, fair play to you. That is it's a lot to be studying too at the same time. I mean, a lot of our students work full time alongside studying, but to be studying a whole other degree alongside it is really commendable. So congratulations to yourself
thank
for
you.
keeping going with it. And I guess a little bit onto sort of the work you're doing now. You've just recently put on your own event, is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I put on my very first event. It was an art exhibition that we called Dejto Pokoj, which is a literal translation of like "give us some space," this funny pun here in Czech. Um, and it was a collaboration of my own work and also a lot of my peers in my university, and kind of showing, because I go to an international university, so it's really amazing to be able to show all of these different students from different countries, and it was really amazing. I was very, very happy with the turnout, and we actually had to put it all on in about a week, which was,
Wow. So you only had
yeah,
to organise it from start to finish.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, there was the ideas where we were doing kind of graphic design, our own flyers, and making sure people are seeing it and emailing it, using our social media presence as well. However, the actual organization of the event was just around a week straight after
Wow.
Christmas. Yeah.
How did you find that? I assume that might have been quite stressful.
Yeah, it was. I think it was the first time I really understood what some of the other lecturers were saying about the stress and how it's so important to keep calm, so important to really like take a step back you know, and it's something that I didn't really do, and I felt that it really did pass me by very quickly. However, it was nice. I had a good team. I was actually responsible for delegating tasks to them as well, and I knew that they would come through, and they very much did, which was great. A lot less stress than I did have to have. Um, but yeah, it was really amazing, and the most amazing part of it all was the feedback that we got, and people coming up to me later on and saying it was a really nice atmosphere. And I think that's really, really cool thing to hear, because you don't have to like all of the artwork, but to say that the atmosphere was good, I think that's the key aspect to it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can't say I'm sort of an avid art lover, but the atmosphere of any event is really what might take you back there again, or spend a little bit more time at the event in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So how many people did you have roughly attending the exhibition? Was it just on for the one?
Ooh, so it was very busy. So it wasn't the biggest of spaces. I was actually in collaboration with NSPU, which is an art gallery here in Prague, located in Žižkov. I was very lucky as well, because my godmother is part of the community there, and she was the one who kind of introduced the idea. And of course, I was very, very keen to show, my peers' work, but also my own work. And we had I would want to say around 80 people there,
Okay.
all different nationalities. I actually was in charge of translation as well, which didn't make my life much easier, running around and then also translating the same things. But it was really incredible. I delivered a speech in front of these people. I spoke in Czech, and then I also spoke in English. And English is my first language. However, my Czech speech was so much better, which I found. um, but it was lovely, and seeing all of these different people put their work that they were proud of as well, and people coming over. One of my peers actually got his work bought, which was
Oh, wow.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't even have pricing on or anything. It was more just a nice exhibition, a nice opening to show what we're proud of. And he managed to actually sell one of his paintings. So a lot of success for
Yeah.
him. Yeah,
You better get another exhibition booked in my diary.
I know. Yeah.
And when you were in the organising, but obviously you only had a week to do it, were there any challenges that came up within that week that you had to quickly on your feet for?
Yeah, there was. I think it was mainly the installing of the artwork. This was something that I didn't quite think about was the transportation of artwork, and we managed it by taking loads of tram rides and very awkward large pieces. However, we're also all students, and something like getting a moving van wasn't really in our price range. So we did have to try and come up with different ideas. But what's really nice is that everyone was there with me as well. So when you have more hands, it really helps. Um, but it was mainly the installing because you have a certain space that you're given and to fill it in a way which obviously complements your work, but also the space and complementing NSPU as a community and, understanding and recognizing them as well. It was quite difficult, but we got there in the end through a lot of very bad translation and uh, it was mainly a lot of wine as well at the event.
Nice.
So yeah, that yeah.
You definitely got to unwind. And in that week that you were organising it, what were you just working sort of 8 hours a day, or were you putting in a lot of hours each day for it?
It was mainly after university because I would have my classes during the day, so I would go there after my classes in the afternoon. Because I also had my own projects that I was working on. However, I did try and prioritize this event, and I think that is something in the future I need to think about more is making sure I have enough time for something rather than dispersing all of this time. Um, so yeah, I think that was time management was something that maybe we struggled with. And however, but at the same time though, in the week, I think we did a really, really good job, and I'm really glad how it turned out. Even we had like live music there as well, and finding that was a little bit tricky, but it went really, really well, setting up all of the equipment that they needed as well, and like the catering and stuff. It was very last minute. However, I think sometimes it makes a big difference as well.
Yeah, and I think it's nice when you do something that you put together so quickly, because sometimes you could wait sort of 6 months until the event comes around, whereas where you've just got that one week, it's like everyone's got to be hands on. You've got to get everything in a line just the way it needs to be. And I guess
Yeah.
as you were planning the event, was there skills that you used from your course with Event Crowd in order to assist and help with that?
Yeah, there 100% was. I think going through the course, I didn't realize how many fundamental things you need for an event to run smoothly. And that was something that was a big shock to me when I was, going through the course and seeing these basic building blocks and how they may seem really simple. However, they are so fundamental. And one of the things that was really important and that I found really helped me when I was planning the event was understanding the regulations and the laws and knowing what is actually, the key aspects of safety and what would happen, and looking at all of these like worst case scenarios and knowing how to quickly adapt and improvise. And I think that's something that the course really highlights a lot as well. Obviously, sometimes on like a very extreme scale of like weather warnings, which sounds terrifying, but it's really incredible to see all of these people and how they really, really adapted quickly and used their brains. And that was something that I was constantly thinking about when it came to planning. And just in case anything happens, I knew what to do. And I would also tell all of my peers and my team as well what to do. So we were all kind of fully equipped.
Yeah, you've always got to plan for the unexpected. You've got to think of every possible negative
Yeah.
scenario that could
Yeah.
happen and have that action plan for what to do in case the worst does happen. But it sounds like nothing too bad went wrong on the day. And in
No, no.
and on the day of the event as well, what did that look like for you when the event was actually on and running?
So for me, I was mainly walking around, introducing people to each other. Again, I was translating different things for people who couldn't speak to each other. That was really nice for myself, but there was also a lot of people who were like, "Oh, is there any more wine?" and stuff like that. And I mean, it was crazy. We bought like 9 to 10 liters of wine and it went within like half an hour. Yeah. These people in Prague know how to drink. Like,
The alcohol is quite cheap over in Prague, isn't it? I think, especially.
yeah, it's dangerous.
Oh, definitely congratulations to yourself. I think to be the age of 21, studying at university and a course alongside it, and then to also be
Thank
able to
you.
put on an event while you're doing your own project is absolutely crazy. So
Thank you.
well done for pulling it off. And I guess going
Thanks.
forward, what have you got goals of where you want to go? How long have you got left at university now?
So I am currently studying a foundation course because I wasn't too sure if I wanted to continue in that path. And I am really enjoying it. It's a really, really lovely community here, and it's something that's really important to me. So either I'm thinking of continuing my studies here in Prague, or I would like to continue on in the events industry, however, here in Prague. Um, I think it's something that's really quite important to me because I do have family ties here and I have been coming here since the last 21 years. So as this really, really small baby and seeing the events scene here and seeing the events industry really quite rise and really become a lot more popular here, where it wasn't so much so before compared to other European cities. I think that Prague has a lot to offer. It's really, really nice. It's not too busy either, and I feel there's space to breathe here as well. However, I do miss London. I do miss the amazing art scene there as well. But for now, I think I really want to try it out here in Prague and see if I can hop onto some agencies and help out with the event scene here, especially the arts event scene.
Yeah, lovely. And is sort of maybe like longer term, is it putting on your own art exhibitions? I mean, I guess from sort of our conversation, you're a very artsy person. Art's
Yeah.
like a main sort of passion of yours. So do you see yourself sort of within sort of the events and art sector?
I would say so, yeah. I think my ultimate dream is to actually design the event and design the creativity and how it looks and how it's portrayed by different people. That was also something I really loved at the event production show is seeing the different pop-up stands and how
Mm.
they really, really like constructed it well, especially I remember visual architects, they were really cool with their pop-up stand. So that's basically what I want to do is I want to design these sets. I want to put it together. And I think that is more on the creative aspect. But I think another thing I wanted to actually talk about with the course and that I want to give credit to is that I feel the course makes it really interesting to learn about things that I wasn't interested in before, like PR marketing or sustainability. And now I'm like really, really into it and I really enjoy learning about it. And I think the course does it in a really nice, relaxed way.
Yeah, I think as well, alongside that, I mean, we have lots of students on our course that work in events, but not necessarily event management. And from the
Yeah,
conversations I've had with them, is it's gaining that understanding of what's actually going on behind the scenes and what is going to be impacting them day to day, even though they might not be directly doing event management, they're still there working
yeah,
on the event. So to be able to get that whole picture of it can really be helpful. Um,
yeah.
so I guess to end things off, in terms of anyone that might be in your position exploring a career in events, would there be any advice that you'd give them at all?
Um, I think the most important thing is to really speak to people and to really throw yourself out there and ask for connections, ask for different work experiences, even I think complimenting people who have put on the event or some staff who have been working, just letting them know if you really enjoyed it. I think that's something that really made me feel very happy and made me want to help. Because after this exhibition, Data Bokoi, I actually was messaged by a few people asking if they would be able to use the same space and if they would like me to help them put it on because they really enjoyed it. And I think complimenting people and really telling them that they did a good job is your key way to drive yourself further. So yeah, definitely speak to people and be nice.
Networking. We love networking.
Networking. Yeah.
I assume you're on LinkedIn as well.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, you got to be on LinkedIn.
I gotta be, yes. You can see my data foci on there.
Yeah, I mean, feel free to, if you want to sort of say your full name, if people that are watching this want to go follow
Yeah,
you, you're more than welcome to share it if you'd like.
yeah, no problem. So it's Anastasia Johnson. That's just it.
Don't
Anastasia with a Z, just to point that
forget
out.
that.
Don't
Well,
forget the Z.
it was so lovely to catch up with you and hear about what you've been up to. And
Yeah,
thank
you
you so
too.
much for giving us your time today to talk through your experiences and the events that you've worked on. And we wish you all
Yeah,
the best going forward. And you always know where we are if you need any help with anything. And good luck with the level 5 as well. You still got that to go.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's actually been a lot of fun.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Well, to everyone that's listening, we'll see you on the next one.